I believe my own career demonstrates this quality in courage. In the Supreme Court, I have issued detailed dissenting opinions in high-profile constitutional and electoral cases, standing firm on principle. These dissents have been widely discussed in legal scholarship and public discourse for their emphasis on constitutional interpretation and the protection of human rights. Beyond the bench, my past work as a legislator required a courage of a different kind, finding ways to deal with conflict, negotiating across divides, and crafting laws and policies that provide for gender justice, including the Sexual Offences Act, the maternity and paternity benefits, and in the African Union, working on the Maputo Protocol on Women's Rights. The second value which is most important to a judge of the ICC is pragmatism, which means balancing ideals with realities, ensuring that justice is principled, workable, and trusted by those it serves. By crafting solutions that respond to specific needs of member states, ensuring accountability, and strengthening domestic institutions so that justice is not perpetually outsourced to the ICC. My career has been shaped by institutions where the law meets life, in civil society, at the African Union, the United Nations, in the National Parliament, at the Pan-African Parliament, at the committee of experts that drafted the Constitution of Kenya, and in the judiciary, where I have learned the importance of being pragmatic. My vision, therefore, for the ICC is about grounding ideals in lived realities, ensuring that the ICC serves not only as a court of last resort, but also as a partner in building resilient national systems of justice, a court that applies legal principles equally across all the regions of the world. Efficiency, ladies and gentlemen, is the third characteristic vital for a judge of the ICC, and it means more than case management. It means integrating modern systems, streamlining investigations, accelerating hearings, and to reduce the time victims have to wait for justice. As a former criminal prosecutor, working under the Director of Public Prosecutions in the AG's office, and as a judge of a collegial court, I have worked to ensure consistency in the application of rules, to run a court effectively, and to manage hearings in a way that prevents delays. This experience has taught me that efficiency is about structure, discipline, and foresight, and it is this experience that I also bring to the ICC. Victims are at the core of international criminal justice, and true justice must go beyond punishing perpetrators to restoring dignity. A victim-centered approach requires institutions that are safe, inclusive, and responsive, places where survivors can participate meaningfully, having their voices heard and see their rights protected. Equality of the law must be matched by equality in access to justice, ensuring that the victims are not sidelined by procedure or delay. My professional journey has always been victim-centered. At the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, I work directly with refugees and asylum seekers and displaced communities whose lives had been shattered by conflict. And at the African Union, I witnessed the devastating consequences of violence on fragile societies. My work on sexual and gender-based violence began then, while doing protection work for refugees, and I've continued this work through the legislation, such as the Sexual Offences Act, through case law, and through institution building in all the places that I have worked. For the International Criminal Court, the urgency of victim-centered justice is clear. Communities devastated by conflict often wait years for reparations, and prolonged trials erode faith in international justice. A credible ICC, therefore, must prioritize timely redress, strengthen the trust fund for victims, and ensure equitable support where the need is greatest. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, a judge from Africa must bring an African perspective. Africa has often carried the weight of ICC scrutiny, sometimes accompanied by perception of bias. The ICC must confront bias directly, not deny it, and craft solutions that reflect Africa's context rather than to impose external models of justice on Africa. It is important for the ICC to rebuild its relationship with Africa. The jurisprudence of the ICC also to date reflects little or no reference to African case law, African scholarly work, or even to African jurists. It is important that Africa's legal experiences be embedded in the case law and jurisprudence of the International Criminal Court. And this I will do. The elections for Judge of ICC, for which I seek your support, is scheduled for December 2026, where state parties will elect 6 judges from all over the world. If I am elected, then Kenya will bring to the court a deep respect for judicial independence, a firm belief in procedural fairness, and a pragmatic understanding of how justice must function in practice. Excellences, ce serait pour moi un immense honneur de contribuer à la promotion de la paix, de la justice, de l'état de droit, enseignant comme juge à la Cour pénale internationale. Je vous remercie sincèrement pour votre confiance et votre considération. I thank you all. Asanteni sana.